Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Banished. Today we are going to try to advance ourselves just a little bit beyond where we are right now. Pretty much, that's what we're going to aim for. Is we don't have like anything major planned. I mean, we've got our first port here. Now, there are actually a few things that I do want to do. One of those is I want to plant an orchard, and I'd like to sort of expand our farmland, because one of the issues we've got at the moment with this game is that we're struggling to provide enough food. We're slowly eating into our supplies of food. They're slowly dwindling, a little tiny bit less each year. And yeah, that's okay. It's not going to cause us a major problem, but eventually it will cause us a problem. So we've got our houses, we've got a load of people moved into them all, and we've got families starting to grow in different places. There goes that trader. That's the first trader that we traded with. So yes, the everybody, it's all starting to expand slowly. We've got 11 students, we've got 11 children, so we do have people coming up through the school system in order to be able to start working and producing and so on. And this is absolutely great. This is really, really good for us, because it means that we can start filling some of these jobs. And that's going to be the first thing. We've already got someone moved into the work area. We've got one labourer now. So at the moment we've got 3 miners, we've got 2 stone cutters, we've got a blacksmith, herbalists we've got 2, foresters we've got 5, and then woodcutters we've got 2. So I want to increase some of the numbers of ones that we got. We've only got 1 fisherman, and we've only got 2 gatherers. I'd like to have 4 gatherers and 2 fishermen, so there's 3 extra people. The farmers at the moment we've got 3. I've got 1 per field. Now I think for a 10 by 5, a 10 by 15 field, I think 1 is actually okay. So we'll keep it on 1 for those at the moment, and then we'll sort of see. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I want to keep it like that. That it's of 6. No, what I want to do is I want to lower that one down like that, and that one down, and that one down as well. Yeah, so we got 1 of each. So the farmers, I think, are going to be okay. But yeah, there are 4 or 5 more jobs that I would like to fill before I really start expanding very much. So in order to do that, we're going to need some extra people coming in. So we've got 30 people. The problem is our initial population are all dying off. They've all grown old, and now they're all sort of dying off. And so we've got to sort of work through that little bit there. Now, foresters at the moment, we've got 2 people in there. We've only got 1... Oh, no, that's the hunting cabin, sorry. We've only got 1 person in the hunting cabin. That's the other thing that I wanted to increase. We've got hunters here. We've got 2. 1 in each cabin. I want more than 1. I want 2 in each cabin. We've got 2 foresters in there, and we've got 2 foresters over there, which means that we've only got 1 forester down here in the south, in that one there. Just 1. So I want at least 2 foresters in each lodge, if we can. But there's other jobs that I'd like filled as well. So we've got 12 kids, 10 students, and they're coming up through. So we're working on 5 times speed at the moment, which is fairly reasonable, I would say. Now, as for actual resources, we're doing pretty good. I mean, we don't have a huge amount of iron. We've only got 6 iron. But we've got loads of stone. Stone is not an issue. Iron is slower to get anyway. It does take a bit longer to get that out of the mines, but it does eventually turn up. So we've got 8 there now. We may consider getting some more mines. But we do have a load of iron up here, so we can send out some orders for people to go up and get those. But again, we don't have any labourers, so it'll be the farmers that do that during the winter. We don't have very many of those. But no, the next big thing we want is actually an orchard. I want to build the biggest orchard that I can. Now, I think I need 2 people to work a full-size orchard, which means I'm going to need 2. I'm going to need 2 extra people there, and then I don't need to assign them anywhere else. But I can at least build 1 big orchard. I've got a woodcutter working here, and I've got a woodcutter working over here. So we do have firewood being supplied. It's the stored logs there. Stored firewood is 105. Now in here, I've actually requested firewood. Now I've got 967 in here. I'm going to try to get and keep 2,000 firewood in there for trading. So if we can do that with trading, we can then that won't actually be counted into the totals. I wasn't actually sure, but a couple of people answered me in last week's video and said about that. So we know that now that the firewood that's stored in there is not included in the totals over here. So we've got 125 stored firewood. That's being taken to the market and into the storage yards. 61 in there. And then the rest of it will be in here. They will go and gather that. We've already got nearly 1,100, so it's not going to take very long for them to fill that up with firewood completely. And then we don't need to worry about it. So I'm not going to build the other traders at the moment. We're quite a small community at the moment, so we don't need 3 traders, I don't think. I mean, maybe we will. It does encourage them to sort of run a little bit faster. I'm going to try and just swivel that round a little bit so it seems a bit straighter there. That seems a bit better. 31 people now. Okay, I think 31 is a good point to start with, and we can sort of set building a orchard over this side. We bring this one over and food orchard. Right. Now, where do I build my orchard? I've got fields here. I do eventually want to remove those fields so that I can put a load of houses to benefit from that marketplace. So I don't really want to put the orchard too close because the orchard is going to take more resources to build and maintain. I bring that one out there like that. 15 by 15 is the maximum size orchard that can be placed. So if I can bring that one to there, like that will be the maximum point down there. I can't go up any further, but I can go over to there like that. So there. If I put a 15 by 15 orchard right there, that is going to be close enough to everything else that it can still be used. And I'm also going to put a house over here as well. That'll be within range of the market, so it doesn't need to worry about that. And then the people that work in the orchard will be able to live in this house. We've got 32 laborers now, which is enough. So we'll be able to assign those into the orchard, and that should help to take care of our food problem. And now we're getting to summer, where it's the beginning of spring that we want to see. We were down to 7,000, I think it's like 7,100 at the beginning of spring. Load of timber here, but we've also got here some forage crops as well. There's some root crops there. You can see those baskets there. Let me zoom right in on those baskets. Those there, they are actually, that's items of food that is being used there. That guy there is actually carrying some, I think. No, he's not. He's dropped it on the ground somewhere. They will come along and they will gather some of this up in a minute. At least I hope they do. So that is, I mean, that's what gatherers would do. They would go and grab that, and if they can have an established forest to work through, they would do a better job of it. You've got the herbalists there, and then you've got the gatherers up there. It's the gatherers that do that kind of work. We'll let them carry on working over there. The orchard, this one is, you just got to remove all of those, and then once that's done, once that's all removed, then I think that it's counted as built. I don't think you need any materials brought in. No, of course you don't, because if you're bringing materials in, it would actually say that it would be in this list here. It'd be the work that's got to be done before it's completely built. So once they've removed that one more there, then the builders can come in and they can. You know what? The builders don't even need to do anything either. If you look at this over here, that shows you they've got to remove that, and yeah, it shows the whole list of everything that needs to be done. So this one is finished, it's completed. So I'm actually going to lower that down to 2, and is that what I want to do? Yeah, I want to lower that down to 2 like that, and then I want to go. Yes, that's right. Because I've got 3 farmers at the moment, so I can actually do it on here. You can use these screens. You don't have to click down here on this one over here like this. We've got 2 laborers, so I can actually increase the number of farmers that I want, like that. There. So now I've got 5 farmers. So I'll have 2 people come over here and work on this one. This one here, we've got pecans. We don't have anything else, so they will come in and they will start planting pecans. I've got 1 person missing from here. I should have 5 farmers. 2 there. Oh, they've come back. They're okay. They're working on there. So this one here doesn't actually have a house nearby, and it doesn't have any road connecting it either, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult for people to get to. So if I do it like this, I'm actually out by 1. I misjudged that, didn't I? That wasn't very good. Okay, I want to bring that one like that, and there's the dirt road that will connect that one. So I'll put it there. I'm going to put the dirt road along the top, and all along that side like that, and then Bring that straight up through there and connect to that one. Yep. Okay, so I've connected that up there, and then I want to actually build a house just in this piece in here. So I go there, and I will go to the stone houses. And I can, actually, I could put 2 stone houses side by side. I can put one right there, and then I'll put one right next to it, just adjacent to it right in there. And that is still within the range of the marketplace. So we'll be able to make good use of the marketplace. I don't have a forester nearby. I didn't actually realize this for quite a long time when I was playing this game, but if you do have an orchard near a forester, the forester will cut the orchard down, and it's a little bit of a nuisance. So you don't want that to be happening. You do want to try to avoid that if at all possible. So we've got 14 children in here at the moment. So these 2 here, these are currently going to be built. And then once those are built, we're going to build our next item, which is going to be the boarding house. Now, we don't have a boarding house at the moment. It's something that I would like to have in here. It's kind of a precaution. You have this one here ready so that if you have some... Oh, what are they called? Nomads. If you have nomads turn up, you've got somewhere for them to live temporarily until there are other houses available. It's really quite important to have this because you don't want a load of homeless people in your town because they can all die, and that's really not a good thing to happen. So let me get rid of that one a second. Right, so that comes out here. If I could put the boarding house right there actually, and that would be within range, and then if we've got any homeless people at all, they can move into this boarding house. I'm going to put that one right in there. That requires 100 wood and 45 stone. We've got 195 stone and 322 wood. So we've got more than enough to build that boarding house completely. So that's going to be the next thing that's going to be built. We've now got 34 people, so we've got 2 laborers as well as everything else that we're doing. These guys, they will just start working through this. To begin with, you don't get a huge amount from the orchard. That sort of happens later on. I've actually got fish there. Why have they dumped a load of fish in the middle of the map? Seems a bit odd. Oh, it's because this is full. This barn here is completely 100% full. And that barn over there is 40% full. That's got some fish in it, but it's 40% full. I'm going to build another storage barn. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to extend this road. No, this road here. I'm going to extend this road out this way as far as I can, which is there. And then I'm going to build a second storage barn. That one. I'm going to build that one. Actually, I can't. I cannot build a storage barn right there where I want to because I've just put the road in the way. That's a bit inconvenient. Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll put the storage barn over here so it's close enough to all of the food. The market, the people from the market, they can come over and they can get this. They will. And even though it's out of range, they will still come and get it. They will travel halfway across the map if they need to get anything that they need for the market. No, the ring is the houses within range of it. So all of these houses that we've got, almost every house on the map is within range of our one market. So we don't need another one at the moment. People will just go straight to the market, they grab what they need, and then take it back home. And they've got all of their resources and materials, items, everything that could possibly want sat in their homes. They don't have to spend a long time sort of running around looking for it. Is that straight? That's better. That's straight. I wish it would just stay straight. I wish you could like disable the twisting camera. There is a way that you can like set it up to start with, and you just press a button to put it back. There is our boarding house. 100 of 100. You're right. All they've got to do now is they've got to build this one, so we can just sort of see this one being built. This thing is quite impressive. The boarding house. It's a big, tall building. And it is very impressive. We've got 18 of 18 graves being used over there. I'm actually going to turn the area behind the boarding house here into another graveyard. I'm going to turn that area there into a much bigger graveyard than we've currently got. I'm going to let them finish building this first. After they've built that, then we'll make the bigger graveyard. So let me just take a look at our people for a moment. 1 labourer. We do have our 2 builders. And I always like to keep 2 builders. It does seem to sort of work a little bit better. Now, the reason that the builder's not doing anything is because they're both over here. Just building this one up. As soon as that is finished, I got a student and a stone cutter working in there, living in there. And then we've got an empty house. Hopefully someone will move in there fairly soon. I'm not sure how many empty houses we've got. But I think that we've now reached the point where a lot of these single people are quite old, and so they are dying and moving out of their houses, which means that we've got new couples moving into the houses and having families. except down here. We do want the boarding house. If I was to demolish this, what you can do is you can set the house to be demolished and then not actually demolish it. As soon as the person has moved out, you cancel the demolition, and then that's how you kind of get two people to move in together. Right, so we've got a father and a daughter in there, and a couple living in there. Okay, so we should get more families turning up later on. More people turning up. We've got 2 labourers, so we've got 13 children, 9 students. We're on 34 people, so we're doing well. We're doing very, very well. That house is full. We're on... What are we on? We're on late spring. We're on 6,400, so yeah. Stored food is still an issue. Oh, we've got a merchant, so let's just move over here and see if they've got anything to trade. Peaches and roots. 333 of each. I wonder if I go up and I do 320 of each of these, and I'm going to buy these just to kind of help our food situation, because I think our food situation at the moment is not ideal. So I want 640 on this. That's 660. All right, we're short by 7 units there. 333. I need an additional 6 units. If I just take that off of there and I go 27 on there, that is exactly right. So we've got roots and we've got peaches. I'll trade that so they've got plenty of food. We don't have any seeds or anything coming in yet. I might open up another one of these because it does encourage more traders. But I mean, at the moment, I'm not that concerned about it because I've got 35 people. That means I've got more. I've got 3 laborers now. This house is now building. It's coming along quite nicely. As I've got 3 labourers, that means I could spare 1 to become a cleric, which means that we can build our church. And building a church is quite important. So we're going to build a graveyard and we're going to build a church, and then I think we can concentrate on the next big item, which is expanding this up here. So there we go. There's our boarding house. So now I can encourage the... Right, I'll tell you what. We're going to slow this down. If I slow that right down to 1 times speed, this is a little bit more difficult, I think. So we got 3 people in that one. We got 4 people in that one. 1 person in there and 1 person in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to go, not cancel removal, I'm going to go remove structure. Remove. Like that. There. And then look on this one. So that person has now been removed. And then if I go stop the removal of resource, stop destroying this building, I'm going to send that one to be destroyed as well. So that person will also become homeless. Reclaim. And reclaim. So you cancel the people moving out and then you put it back again. And if I look up here, it doesn't actually say occupants at the moment. I'm hoping that they've just moved into some other houses. We've now got 2 people have moved into that one already. That was really quick. So now I'm going to speed time back up to 5 times. So 5 times simulation speed does seem to work fairly well for us. But yeah, we've got 2 people down here that have just moved in. And that one's empty. We'll see how long that stays empty for. Let's go and take a look at our houses over here. We've got, they've got another child. 36 people. So if we can just sort of work our way through this, I'm going to slow that down again. And I'm aware that we're still struggling for food a little bit, so let's not go overboard with doing this. Let's not force the extra people too quickly. We've only got 1 person moved back into there, and 1 person. Why aren't they living together? They were living together. Okay, they've just moved back in on their own. Okay, so we got a lot of bachelors in town, apparently. A lot of people that want to live the single life. Alright, we'll let them carry on with that for now. We'll try to disrupt those plans later on. Right, so we've got 4 labourers, and at the moment we are saying reserve of firewood is low. Right, firewood I'm not worried about. Not in the least bit concerned about firewood. I do want to increase the number of gatherers that I've got, so that's more food coming through. And then I've got 5 farmers, that's perfect. I want to keep 5 farmers. But hunters. I want to increase the number of hunters. I'm going to increase that by 2. And then the next one I'll be increasing is not the gatherers, not the fishermen either. Forester. I want 1 more forester so that I've got 2 working at each area. I don't know if it's actually better to have 4 foresters working on each one. I think they end up processing them a little bit too quickly if you do that. So ultimately it's better if you just have if you have 2 foresters per station. But don't quote me on this. I may not be entirely accurate on that. Now, how are we doing over here? We've still got 0% yield, so they're waiting for these trees to grow. Once the trees grow, one of the disasters you can get if you've got disasters turned on is that the trees become diseased and you can end up losing entire crops, and it's really bad. And you also need to rotate your crops in your fields because you get diseases in the fields. We don't have disasters turned on, so we don't need to worry about that. It's an extra management level, but I find it's more irritating rather than rewarding, because you've got to keep cancelling the crops in the winter and then reassigning them all the way through. And it just generally seems like a little bit of an irritant rather than an enjoyable aspect. I find that for a lot of the only disaster that I would like to keep on is the disease one, but I feel that because we've got the hospital, we've already taken care of that, so we don't need to worry about it too much. Now then, we've got 37 people there, which means we've got another labourer working away diligently. 4 gatherers, 4 hunters, we've got 5 farmers, we've got 2 builders, herbalists 2, yes, that's fine. I'm going to wait until we get a bit more before I assign another. So that's on 37. When we get to 38 or 39, I will increase again. Before I do that, I want something very, very important. We've got a hospital, we've got a schoolhouse, I do have a well. We don't need to worry about wells because we're not getting any fires, but I will put some wells around just because, as a flavour type thing. But no, I want a cemetery. I do definitely want a bigger cemetery. We've got this one over here, and so I'm going to put a cemetery right behind these houses here and behind the boarding house. And I'm going to rotate that one round so that the front entrance is over here. This is going to be a nice big cemetery over here. A 10 by 15. Actually, you can go... I think it's 20 by 20 is the biggest you can have a cemetery. That is a huge cemetery down there. I'm not going to go that big, though. I'm going to take it to the same size as the boarding house. It's going to be right in behind there. A 10 by 14. Let's drop that one in there. So we've got a huge cemetery. That should be more than enough for the people here, because this one has mostly stayed full, 18 of 18 graves. So once they start on this one, this will be more than enough to keep them going for quite some time now. And then the other thing that we want to build is a chapel. Chapel or church, whichever you want to call it. And there isn't quite enough room in there to build the thing. And there is a bit of rough ground, so we can't build it there either. Which is a real shame. I would have liked to have sort of stuck it there in the middle of the town. That is too far over. Can't do it there. So I'd either have to bring it down over here and put it right in front of the mine, which is kind of a long way away, or put it there. Now that actually would be a good place to put it, except that, it doesn't quite fit. It's just a tiny, tiny little bit out, isn't it? Everywhere here is just a tiny, tiny little bit out, so it doesn't quite fit, which is a little bit of a nuisance. I'd prefer it if we could squeeze it in there somewhere. I mean, we can always remove the quarry later and we could put it there, or we could remove this field. Actually, I think that would be the best place to put it, right there in the middle of the town. Our physician has apparently died. We'll leave the physician. I'll tell you what, we're going to put this one over here. We're going to put it right, actually, that way round. And I'm going to put it facing out this way rather than in. And that's going to go right next to the graveyard. That's where our chapel is going to go. So we'll put that one in there. So it means we're going to need a priest. We are down to 35 people. And that means we are short by a few people. We don't have a physician. I mean, the physician is not important because, as I said, we don't have disasters turned on. So we don't actually need to use a physician. We've got the 4 gatherers. We've got 5 there. Who have I... I'm sure I must be short on someone here. We also don't have a brewer. I will get a brewer coming in fairly soon. The miners, the stonecutters, the labourers. Farmer is fine. Gatherer is 4. I'm thinking I might actually drop the gatherer down again. If I drop that down to 2, that gives me 2 labourers, so I can take a physician in there. And I can keep 1 labourer. But I'm going to need a cleric now, so we'll change that one over. But anyway, I think we're doing okay. We are expanding. We've now got 35 people. We've got 12 students coming through and 11 more children on their way up through. Let's see how these houses are doing down here. The ones where we kick people out. Oh, nope, they do have... There is a child in that one house. That's good. That's a good thing. And over here, we've got a lot of single people still. But I think that we're getting to the point where I could actually do the whole kick them all out and start over once more. What are we doing up here with houses? Oh, I've got a 76-year-old teacher living on her own there. On her own. And then there's a fisherman there. And then we got the physician there living on his own. Her own. I'll get it right eventually. Yeah, do I kick the teacher out of their home? Actually, I'm not going to kick the teacher out. I'm going to come down here. We've got a builder living on her own. I'm going to do it with the builder. I'm going to kick the builder out of their home. I'm going to slow down speed. So we go to this one and we slow that down. Just so the builder doesn't race up and demolish the building really, really fast. You do kind of need to be aware that that could happen. So we'll do that there. So then that person has moved out. There's 21% storage remaining already. They've started to... Some of it has already started to be removed. So if I then... I think you've got to wait until they move into the boarding house. Or if they move in somewhere... I don't know if they move in somewhere else or if they move into the boarding house. I actually don't know about that. I don't know how that works. Is the person here moving... are they moving house or are they... That is the farmer. Inventory is iron. So they're carrying iron around. So is these people over here. They're not moving into the boarding house, though. And that one there. Who is this? Nope, can't see that person. It's on 21%. I'm going to reclaim that one now quickly before anything bad happens. And then I will go back to here. I may not be leaving it long enough. Go back up to 5 times speed and we'll see. Oh, this person here is still homeless. That's who I should have been watching. That person's homeless, so they're probably now just going to move straight back into that house there on their own. Which is just going to be a nuisance. Although they were homeless, but they're no longer saying that they're homeless. So does that mean that we'll get a couple move in here? It would be good if they did. So we've got 0 of 40 graves in there, and we've got 18 of 18 in there. Right, we've got a house that is available, and then we've got the church here that is being built. They're busy bringing a load of stone and iron over here to the church, and we've got 0 reserves of both. We've got no stone and no iron left. I'm going to need another 12 iron to finish that particular property. So in order to be able to do that effectively, I'm actually going to go up here, and I'm going to order a little bit of iron brought back to the village. And that is the iron there. I'm just going to take that small quantity there. I've got another big patch of iron over there, but I'm not going to send that one back to the village just yet. I'm just going to order that one lot, no more. Let's not get greedy with this. And that builder has moved back in. Just the builder on their own. So how do I get them to stay out of here? Let me try this. I'm going to try this again. I'm actually going to try it on the higher speed and see if that works. I'm going to go like that there. So they both moved out. And are they actually homeless at the moment? I just need to be really, really careful that they don't come in here and start knocking this down. So let me just pay close attention to... We've got 11% storage remaining, 8%. Does that mean that it's... Oh, I see. The storage has all got to be... Does the storage have to be removed first? Before it can then be demolished? Is that how they do it? 6 and 4... Right, we're going to have to monitor this carefully. And once they've moved out, once all of the storage is remaining, we'll then see if... I mean, does that mean that then they demolish it instantly? 0% storage remaining. And 0. Right, they're both on 0 storage remaining. Have they... What's going to happen now? How quickly do they come through? Right, now it's being demolished. If I'll cancel that one now that it's being demolished. That's also being demolished. I'll cancel that one as well. Over here, they haven't moved into the boarding house, but I've now got 2 houses, and hopefully this time we will get couples move into those houses so that they have children and everybody's happy and our population continues to expand. This is what we want. We don't want bachelors. We frown upon bachelors in this particular country, in this particular town. We do not want single people. We don't like single people. There we go. We've got a couple who have moved in. 2 18-year-olds. We've got a student and a labourer who's now just become a builder. And we've got nobody in that house there, so I'm hoping that those other ones decided to move in with some of the other single people. They may have done. I don't know if they do that or not. I don't think they do. Doesn't really matter because we've now got it. One of those has now become a couple, which is it's one of the things that we wanted. That's what we wanted. We wanted them to do that. We've got a builder, a 26-year-old builder there living on his own. Okay, nobody's moved in yet. I'm still waiting for someone to meet, but we're up to 37 people, which means that we can actually assign. We've got, we just need 2 more iron, and then we're done, and we only need 6 more stone as well. Iron is now complete. All the iron is in, and then we've got 6 more stone waiting on. So while we're sort of waiting for that to finish up, 3 laborers up there. I'm going to make someone into a cleric. So we've just got a random cleric running around. And then I've got the gatherers as well. I'm going to assign 1 more gatherer. So I'm going to leave 1 laborer, just 1 laborer for now. And hopefully we can get another laborer. So that's at 37. When we get to 38 people, we'll then be good. And we can get a... not another laborer. We'll have a second laborer, and I'll be able to assign one of those as the 4th gatherer. So then we've got 4 gatherers, which is what I want to stay at. These trees over here, they're now looking pretty good. It's still saying 0% yield, and that one's 10% full. That one's 89% full. But if you look here at the amount of stored food, that's now at 8,000 in summer, and we haven't started harvesting our fields. That means overall, I think our food is starting to go up again, which is really, really good. That is what we want. Iron is now on 10, so iron is starting to climb again. And we are literally just waiting on 2 stone to come out of the quarry. That should be here any minute. I'll tell you what. Do I need to? I was just thinking maybe I should order a little bit of stone from up here, but I don't think I will. They're still working on that iron up there, so we'll not worry about that. We'll just let these guys get to it eventually. There's only 2 of them working in there, so it is going to be a little bit slow going for the 2 of them to do that. But there's some more stone coming in. Is that it? Is that all of them? There we go. Right, so we've got 130 stone, 30 iron, and 50 logs. This is to make our chapel. And then once the chapel is built, we've got, I think, pretty much one of everything. The only thing we don't have will be the brewer. And obviously the animal pens as well. We haven't made any animal pens because we don't have any animals yet. This is still on 0% yield, so remember I said it does take a long time to establish an orchard. Eventually, the orchard will become established, and then once it does, you do get quite a good yield out of the orchard. It just takes a little while for it to get there, but it's definitely worth the wait. You do definitely get quite a nice bit of food coming out of there. So I think we've taken care of our food problem for a little while. We've also taken care of temporary storage, temporary housing. I think you can have up to 40 people living in a boarding house. It just says temporary place for the homeless to live. I think it's up to about 40 people in there. That one's coming along quite nicely there. And we now have another couple living in the other house. So it was definitely worth trying to knock that place down and then rebuild it. We're up to 38 over here. So we've got an extra labourer. Hang on, I want to go this one. I want to go that one. And I got 3 labourers working. So if I go to the gatherers there, I'll put that one up to 4. So I've got 2 labourers. I've also got the cleric running around as well. That's everybody that I need working at the moment. Oh, a fisherman. I was thinking about getting another fisherman. Woodcutters. Oh, foresters there. I want to put that one up to 6. And then the fisherman. That's going to be the last one. I'm not going to do that yet. We'll leave that for just a moment. This one here is on 103, so we're almost done with building our church. As soon as this is done, everything's going to be looking pretty good. Once we've got this church in place, we've then kind of got our whole town well underway. I'm actually going to rotate round so that we can sort of see it from this way. I don't normally do this when I'm playing. I don't like to swivel it round very much, but I think we will here. I like how we've got the mature trees outside the chapel. Generally, I think this place looks pretty good. I'm quite pleased with this. Still got... Oh, that's the cleric there. He should now go... There's our completed church. Church is done. We have somewhere to pray, somewhere for people to worship. And that's quite important to the people here. They do need somewhere that they can go to worship. We've got 0 members at the moment. That won't take long for the cleric to move in. As soon as he realizes that his church is actually... There we go. He's moved in. And we have 63 members. A congregation of 63 people. That is absolutely fantastic. So there is our chapel. Our church is all done. Let me zoom out a minute. We don't actually have a circle on that one. I'm going to try and get this lined back up again. I'd like to have it in a dead straight line like this. There we go. Right. What next? That's going to be the million-dollar question, is what do we work on next? I'm just going to take a drink a moment, and then we can carry on. Right then. So we went up to 40 people. We're now down to 38 people. So we've actually lost a couple of employees, but I'm not sure where. So let's just take a look. Farmers are fine. Farmers is always the first one that I check, and then we can go through and we can look at the others. We've got the 2 hunters. It's just that we've got no laborers. So long as we've got, I think everything else is fine at the moment. So long as we've got 38 people, 38 adults working, we've got all the jobs that we need filled. And there is a new trader. So let's see what we've got with the trade. We can get some warm coats. Warm coats are actually pretty good. How much does a warm coat cost? It only costs 20. You know what? We'll get all 20 warm coats. I think they'll be useful. And so we want to trade in... Just press enter on that. 12 warm coats. I thought it said they cost 20. So 240 for the coats, which isn't very much at all. 80, 160, 240. So it's only 60 pieces of timber, and we can get all of that. So we can trade those. You can actually, I think, go on... if you go orders... I think you can have like a permanent order coming in, and I think that you don't need to like speak to them. You just do it on... yeah, you have auto purchase. So it will auto purchase a set amount each time that... I don't know if it's each time they come in or what. But we're not going to set up any auto purchasing just yet. We're still sort of... Our population is now starting to grow, and that is really cool. But we still need it to grow a little bit further. So I'm going to go now, and I'm actually going to work my way through all the houses, and we're going to evict anybody that is single, and we're going to try and get more couples moving in. So we just take a look at the nomads. We've got no nomads requesting citizenship at the moment. This is the trade items. So this is the items that we've got. And our inventory, it's this one here, it's production. So food, we've got current 9,000, used 5,900, produced 7,000. So used and produced. Now we're using and producing around about the same level at the moment. So that's much better. We've increased the amount of food that we're producing, and this is really vitally important. And then produced and used here. We've got logs, so that's around about the same. The stone is not like a major issue. Those are okay. So most of it's actually okay. Most of it's not really much of a problem. So we're producing more than we earn, but the food is still pretty much level. We are going to have to be aware of that. I think these pecans are going to be producing now. Let's just take a look and see if we've got any pecans in here. But there's no pecans in storage. Maybe has anybody got pecans in here? Inventory, nope. Let's check the markets. Peppers, berries, hides, root, mushrooms. They've got everything in there, but no, they don't have any pecans in there. So pecans haven't yet started producing, but they will do soon. This is the crucial word here is soon. We have soon a lot. Soon happens a great deal in this game. 16 of 18 now. They haven't actually started using this cemetery at all yet. I guess that's kind of a good sign. I'm not really sure if it is or it isn't, but I'm just going to assume that it's a good sign. We'll just make that assumption and we'll leave it at that. I have seen people with really advanced games making a whole load of firewood, and what they did is basically they didn't have any farms on the map. It's just the whole place was just stuff full of houses and marketplaces and storage barns, and they were making a lot of other stuff. And then they had a couple of areas that were producing timber, and they had a lot of woodcutters. So they were bringing in, if you take a look here, logs here. I don't know if it actually says what the trade... See, our firewood here, the value is 4 for 1 firewood. If I, in the inventory here, I'm going to actually request that they bring in some logs, and I can show you what I mean with this. And we go to, not the orders, we go to trade here. So yeah, we've got these logs here. They have a value of 2. And they had it set up so that they did harvest and they did farm some of their own timber, but essentially they had loads of these all along the river. They had loads of them all coming in, automatically buying logs and then processing it through a firewood guy, and then they had a load of firewood that they were selling, and they were using that to buy in loads and loads of food and all the different supplies that they needed. And it was absolutely fantastic the way they had it set up. It was all totally reliant on the traders bringing in logs, and they had thousands and thousands of logs being brought in. The storage yards were absolutely enormous. So absolutely huge, enormous, great big storage yards. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I really loved that. It's just something that I thought was really, really cool, the way it had all been carefully set up. And it was definitely, I thought, something that maybe I could sort of aspire towards. So maybe we'll be able to do that in this playthrough sort of later on as we get through there. We'll be able to do a lot more towards that, so we can sort of build traders. We can put traders all along this river. You look, the river is a very, very long, winding river. We can get traders all the way up to here. And it's this river, so long it's this river here. So we can sort of prioritize. Well, eventually we can chop down all this stuff. And we can get traders here. We can put them around this lake. You can put traders down around this one as well, all the way down here. And you can see we got a very big map here. I do have an extra large map. That's something that I prioritize there. So we've got all of this area here that we can put traders around. You can't get any traders in up here, but this can all be housed. You could just have masses and masses of houses, some storage barns, and some marketplaces as you slowly expand all the way through it. And it did look glorious. It genuinely looked absolutely incredible. Seriously impressed with it. I really, really was. Right. We've reached a point now where we can actually seriously consider doing a little bit more expansion. We've got 41 people working for us. So we've got 3 laborers. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fill in the rest of the jobs I want filled in. I like to have 2 fishermen per point. I have had people say you can get away with just 1, but that's kind of debatable whether it's a benefit to have 2 or not. Some people think it is, and some people think it isn't. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to go for 2. I generally go for 2 people per fishing dock, if I can. So I got 2 people in there. I got a woodcutter in each one. I got 2 hunters in each of the hunting stations. I've only got 2 of those. The gatherers, we got 2 of each, and it says 8 on there. Well, you do actually have to go to each individual one to lower it down like this. So if I lower that down, that will just put 2 on there. And then if I come down here to this gatherer's hut down here, no, I'll get the right one eventually. And oh, I've got 2 on there. I want to go 4 on there. No, it's this one here that I want to lower down. That one there on 2 on there, and then I go to that one and I drop that one down and have 2 in there. So we've got 4 of 4 gatherers. Now you can increase it on this one, but this one here, select and cycle through the citizens assigned to this. So it's 5 of 5 up here. I don't think there's actually a way that you can set the assigning the numbers up in here. So I can't like change that number there, the 15. I can do it if I go into the quarry. Can I do it in here? This is the other thing. If I go to overview, job. So I got people assigned here. I can do this same job that I'm doing over in here via the town hall if I want to. I don't actually want to. And then here I've got 2 people assigned in here, 2 of 15. I actually would like to increase that by 1 so I get a little bit. Actually, I don't want to do it that one. I want to go that one there. So I've got 3 people assigned in there. So that gives me 3 stonecutters and 3 miners. I will actually increase the number of miners. That's going to be the next thing we do, is we're going to open a second mine. We're going to build and open a second mine, and that one will be farming, that one will be harvesting coal. And then we'll go over here, and coal is used up by the blacksmith. It's the only use of coal that you have. It uses log, iron, and coal. They make steel tools. Steel tools are worth a lot of money. You can sell them, and you get quite a nice bit from selling them. But they last a lot longer for all of the people using them, which means ultimately you use less iron because the steel tools last longer. Now we have yield. Look at this. They're actually able to start harvesting in here. So we're going to get our first pecans coming into the system. Just take a look in here. So that one's just about full. That one's almost full as well. This is a bit of an issue. But there's our pecans. We've got our first 65 pecans in storage. And we've got 65 in that one as well. That's excellent. So they're going to start harvesting, which means we now have another source of food coming in on a regular basis. That is absolutely brilliant. And if you look at the amount of food that we've got stored here, this is starting to pick up quite a bit. We've also got 11 students, 14 children, 42 adults. I think in our next episode, we are going to open up these 2 traders so that we can try to get... wood is all at maximum. Firewood is at maximum. Everything seems to be sort of maxed out. It's stone and iron that we're struggling a little bit with, so I might increase the number of people working in there. So yeah, next episode we want to start mining some coal so that we can change what the blacksmith is making. Then we also want to open up some more traders, and we'll get some more firewood and some more stored firewood. We've got another storage yard there, so we can fill that one up. And then once we've got all of the traders and the firewood and everything all ready to go, that should hopefully bring in traders that got more seeds, so they got more plants for the orchards, and also livestock. I want cattle, I want sheep, and I want chickens. I want all of the above, and I want to make the biggest pens that I can. I think cattle pens are 20 by 20, so you put a huge great big cattle pen over here. And although I can't actually remember, you just see. We can check that one very quickly. So if we go pasture, and you can do... This is pasture for anything. Is it 20? Oh, it's 15 by 15. Oh, no, it's saying to... Yeah, it's 20 by 20. You can have a 20 by 20 pasture. And so what I'd like is a 20 by 20 one for cattle. I'd like a 20 by 20 for sheep. And one for chickens. And... it takes a long time to accumulate. Once you've got the pasture, you want to start filling it up. And it's a good idea to have 2 pastures of each and keep them separate in case of disease, although we don't have disasters, that's not going to be a problem for us. But you do then start to get a really nice lot of yield food and various other products coming out of them. So we've got another trader who's just moved in. Cabbages, peaches, and pumpkins. So we've got no seeds available. I'm not going to do any trading with that one. That one can be on his merry. You just click dismiss, the other one will come, the next one will come through quicker. And we have a problem. What's this? Llewellyn, the stone cutter, was crushed by a rock. Yeah, that's not very good. Oh, we still got 3, so someone else has taken over their position. That's good. Okay, that is all I got time for today, so we will carry on next week. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.